Hello and good evening. It's Tuesday the 24th of January at 6:30 and I'm a minute early, ready for the mini quilt demonstration tonight in the Sew with Trisha group. So welcome everybody. I can't actually see anybody yet, or there's a couple of people watching, but I have thought ahead of myself, and let me see if I can find. Quite often I can't see any comments on here, but came up straight away, so I got the sound off. But if you would, yes, I can see people are watching, so if you would like to comment, and then hopefully I'll be able to see. Oh, lovely, it's working tonight. Hello Alison and hello Beverly. Yes, we're all good, thank you very much. Let me see, I'm just going to put my phone down here. Oh, it's just told me we're live, and I know we are. Evening John and Jill, Jill and John. Hi John, lovely to see you both tonight. So what have you all been up to? What I thought tonight was, I'm not going to witter on like I usually do. Hello Gita, I'm fine, thank you. A little bit cold, but yes, we're fine. It's been a busy day here again. Yes, it is a bit, it's been, I don't know what the temperature was here, but I know it was very cold when I went out this morning. Oh, bless him, John, thank you. It's my dad's name, you know. I don't know if I told you that, but it is. Hello Maria, and hello Linda. So today here, hello Shirley from a very cold Ribble Valley, yes. I'm not surprised, it's just cold everywhere, isn't it? Hello Nikki, Nikki hopes everybody's well here as well. And hello Sue, Trisha and all. Oh, it's warmer in Scotland, fabulous Gita, that's lovely. Anything's warmer than here though. Hello Carol. Oh, you're welcome, Carol. Lovely to chat today. Hello, Marion, and hello, Sharon, and hello, Lorraine. Now, I'm hoping this new time of 6:30 is good. Hello, Lorraine, and hello, Jill. Good evening. It seems to be quite good for a lot of people. Hello, Leslie. Hello, Heather. Because a lot of you are watching now, and of course, Glynis wants to join you on video. I don't think she does, really. Hello, Linda. And hello, Janet. Yeah, Dad's not so good, but hello, Anne. I didn't go today, but my brother did and Victoria did. Hello, Janet. And hello, Sandra. Hopes we're all well. Hello, Joanna. He's dehydrated, so he's now on IV fluids, so he's been a bit confused, and that is the reason why. So hopefully I'll see if I can get there tomorrow. Let me just see. Hello Meg, lovely, and Glynis, and yes, so we're hoping he will improve. He's never going to be like he was before he went into hospital, but you know, as long as he's with us, that's all that matters, and reasonably well too, but they're working on him, so we shall see. You know, everything's in abeyance at the moment, so but you have to soldier on, don't you? And I know he wouldn't want me to stop doing things, which I do from time to time, but you know, never worry until something happens, then you can worry. So don't worry in advance, it's not worth it. 6:30 is good for Lorraine, and the cats love it if they get fed early. Fabulous. Evening Michelle. Oh my goodness, I'm pressing the wrong thing. And hi Lindsay. Hello Linda. Hello Catherine. Good evening Caroline. Christine's watching on the phone. The iPad is installing. Oh, I know. Takes an eternity, absolutely does, when you want it to be quick. I know the feeling. Hello Marion, 6:30 is good for Sandra too. Hello Dorothy, hello Margaret. Okay, you're welcome. Hello Elaine, hello Beverly, hello Karen. Your first visit, lovely. Oh well, you'll see what goes on in here now, won't you? But it's a private group, so what goes in on in here stays in here, and that includes the discount codes. You'll notice I was trying to be, well, I have to cut off doing certain things to do other things, and today I finished off the mini quilt that we're going to do tonight, plus I finished off the PDF and I uploaded it, and I put the kit on the website. So the kit is not obligatory, because as I put in the post, you all have more than enough fabric to be able to make this, and in actual fact, the scrappier the better. But for those of you that do want the kit, it is there. Remember the code, what is it now? Quilt 299, which gives you a £2.99 discount off of the normal price. But as I say, you don't need to buy it. You really don't, because I'm sure you can find enough fabric in your stash to make this. Hello Vanessa, we will catch up tomorrow indeed. Oh yeah, I've got to cut all the kits yet. So much going on. Oh, it's good though. Hello Alison, good evening. And I know Maria, Mum has finished her K-facet puzzle, and it probably took about 3 weeks, perhaps under that, because yeah, she didn't start it till after in the new year. So we are actually going to frame it. So it's not going to be dismantled. It's going to be covered. Whether I'm going to do it, I don't know. We shall see. And she said it will kindly hang in my house because she hasn't got enough wall space, because she's got so many other pictures, etc. on her walls. Isn't that lovely? Hello Anne, hello Kim, hello Patricia, hello Sue, hello Anne, hello Val, my goodness. Hello Sharon, hello Joy, and Janet, and Yvonne, and Ellen. Goodness, yes. I'm being asked if I want to join the video. Oh, just ignore it, Christine, because some others had come up as well. So, no, just ignore it. Hello Sheena. Thank you about oh, fabulous, fabulous. Pat, hello. Maxine, hello. Kathleen, hello. Leslie, it's been a nice day on Canvey Island. Oh, lucky you, Leslie. It hasn't been mild here. It does, Jeter, it does, and it'll look amazing on my wall. I was just going to say, when I get round to sorting a proper room, I don't know if you've seen the quilt behind me, that away. I just picked that up earlier because I thought we need a change. So that's another one of my, no, that would be late 1990s. So, oh, Sharon, been to the dentist there, had a tooth out. Oh dear, I commiserate, I really do, because this morning I had a little bit of tooth in my mouth, and you know how your tongue goes around and you think, where's it come from? Where's it come from? I must grate my teeth in the night. I must do, because I felt it, and you know how you take it, I think, that's tooth, that's too hard to be anything else. And I hadn't eaten anything at that point, so I thought, oh, where has it come from? But I know where it's come from. It's come from down here even, and the tooth needs to come out anyway, so hey ho. I'm going on the 6th of February, so you know. Hello Sue, I commiserate anyway, Sharon. Hello Bev, hello Gidget Marie, hello Christine. Oh right, Joanna. Oh, there's another one, is there? Ooh, hello Jane, hello Lorraine. I might have to look into that. Oh, there you are. Welcomes to you, Karen. Hello Jill, hello Marilyn, hello Julie, hello Jill, just in from work, hello Kirsten, and yeah, the sisters are going to see each other tomorrow with me. Oh, I don't know what, oh, that's all right, yes. Jeter's going to the dentist on Thursday. Oh, I'm not looking forward to it. Mine's not for a couple of weeks. Soon come round though. Good evening, Mira and Lynn. Hope I'm having a good week. I am, but everything takes too long. Martin's a bit poorly today, so he's working a bit slower. You know, I've told you about his speeds of slow and stop. Well, now it's stop, stop, stop. But no, he's doing certain things, but not in the best of health. Cold, you know, man flu, that sort of thing. Hello, Barbara. And Beverly's going to the dentist. We don't need to. Yes, don't tell me about it, Beverly. You need to start selling some things. Well, now is the season. It's coming up, isn't it? Valentine's Day, Easter, Mother's Day. I would say yeah, I don't know about Valentine's Day so much, but February onwards, I get to those craft fairs and sell a few of your goodies. Hello, Pamela. Oh, I see. I'll have a look at that, Joanna. Yeah, absolutely, Mira. I love that little fan. We're going to do foundation paper piecing. I have it in my list of things to do. Oh, thank you, Janet. So we will revisit and we will do a little bit more. I have plans. Hello, Val. Oh, you had a nasty fall Sunday. Oh, it's amazing how it gets more than one part of your body, isn't it? So you rest up. You rest up. Perhaps do a little bit of hand sewing instead. Hello, Marilyn. Lovely to see you back too. I know. Hello, Mary. Oh, Mary's here. I wonder how long you'll be here, Mary. I shall see you tomorrow anyway. John just said man flu is worse than childbirth. Us women don't understand. Oh, John. Oh, John. You've got a lot to learn about ladies, haven't you? Oh, yes. It must be worse than man flu, wouldn't it? But we've always said if men had to give birth, the population would now be extinct. So, I suppose it is. I suppose man flu is better. Oh, thank you, Janet. I'll pass all your love on to him. I think he picked up Charlie's cough from yesterday, but I don't know. We just soldier on, don't we? Hello, Bridget. Hello to you and fellow Trisha. She said, I know I must use that word a little bit more. So, what was I going to say? Hello, Elizabeth. Lovely to see you tonight. And Ellen says, hopes your pain eases for you. Yes. And sending a hug. He needs a good joke. He does, Beverly. See if you can think of one. I love your jokes. I love your jokes. They cheer me up. Oh, thank you, Ellen. I will tell him. I will tell him. I can feel that tooth now. It's against my cheek, my inside of my cheek. Never mind. It's because I'm talking a lot, isn't it? So, what I want to say, thank you so much for everybody who's bought my little book of bags and my little book of mini quilts. They will be coming out very, very soon. Won't be Thursday because I haven't got a car on Thursday. It's going in because that's very poorly too. I've limped over to Bedford Hospital from time to time, but it really isn't good. No worse than apparently. John. Yes, shush, John, shush. I don't know. Dab it with whiskey. I couldn't I? Martin drinks whiskey, so it's readily available. So I should do that. Right, and I was also going to say thank you so much for all those people who ordered the half square triangle rulers. Now I'm calling this the Easy HST. When I keep saying half square triangle, they are HSTs. So we're going to call it the Easy HST. And Andy is working his way on making these at the moment and yesterday. So I am hoping very much, well, I'm hoping he doesn't say Thursday, because Thursday is no good. Usually I get Martin to go and pick them up, but I have a feeling they will be here before the 1st of February. So they will be winging their way to you all. And I actually think you are going to love them because I have fallen in love with this. Hello, Shirley. Lovely to see you. So I am going to use one of them tonight. And as I said before, the reason... Oh, Vanessa loves the quilt behind me. Yeah, I have that. The reason I brought out two, because, as I said, one is the whole... Can we see that? One is whole numbers, and the other is half. And for this particular quilt, we're going to use the halves. And I just think there's nothing worse than having one of them and then finding what you're doing, you need a half rather than a whole number. So that's why I did them in pairs. So the quilt behind me, yes, I can remember making it. And as I say, it was, when was it? The late 1990s. So between 95 and 2000. Unfinished. Let me just show you. I tucked it away. Unfinished. There's the wadding. There's the raw edges. But what I have done, I will take you in closer. Oh, there we are. Can you see it's all hand quilted? Around here, oops, no, say around here. All hand quilted. Even these diagonal lines, all inside. Whoops, no, that's not good, is it? There we are. All inside these little squares here. But it's all hand quilted, and I can't. Hello, Barbara. You can, Anne. The half square triangles are on the website. So don't forget to put the code in. The code. Oh, there's Aurora. Hello, Aurora. Haven't started yet, Barbara. Don't worry. So yes, on the website I've still called it half square triangle ruler, but when it comes out on Create and Craft, it will probably be March. So you will have been playing with this ruler for ages before it actually goes out to the whole of the craft audience. And well, it's not finished, Sue, is it? Let's see, Caroline. Thank you. Hello, Maureen. Yes, we're going to do some hand quilting, Lorraine. And Janet. Oh, you received your parcel, Ellen. Lovely. Can't find your mini quilt rulers. Think I left them at the caravan. So you've ordered another sad one. Ellen, don't worry about it. You are a lady after my own heart. And I read that somewhere as a little quote. If you can't find something, it's easier and quicker to buy another one. And I've got some upstairs, some downstairs, and they're just so handy to have everywhere you go. So don't worry about it. I think a lot of us do that. Hello, Liz. How did you get the quilting patterns? There are quilting stencils on the market, or you can just draw your own. But I think I did this from a quilting stencil. So I must have... can't see. I might have drawn that on, probably with a water-soluble pen, because that's what I used to use. But you can get quilting stencils, and but I know when I've done these lines, the straight lines, which are, they're very even actually. What I used was the quilting tape, which is like, well, it's 1/4 inch, it's like masking tape, but it doesn't leave any residue on fabrics. So the quilting tape, what you can do, and I'll show this when I do a hand quilting demo, you put your masking tape in a straight line, and then you quilt along the side of it. And once you've done that, you move that same piece of quilting tape, pick it off, lay it back down again, and it probably goes 3-4 times before you have to use another bit, even more if you're very careful. But yes, that's how we do that. Thank you, Shirley. Do I use a hoop? I usually do, you know. I like a big circular hoop. And then you've got something to hold on to while you are rocking your needle up and down to go through the layers. So I don't mind oval hoops as well, but circular ones for these, you know, a decent sized circle can give you all of that in there and there, or an oval would probably do, you know, a bigger area so that you just keep moving it. Probably should have done a little bit more there, but hey ho. Thank you, Sheena. Finish the quilt. I know I must finish it. You ordered your quilts, your rulers. Thank you, Jeeta. So many of you have. Do I know when I get more of the mitre ruler in stock? I've got to see. I may have a few left over, Aurora. So keep an eye out on the website. I haven't posted out all the Create and Craft orders yet, so I'm working on that. As soon as they've all gone, I will put the residue on the website. I did order far more than I needed, but I don't know. I never know how many they pop on there. Hello, Mary. Thank you, Ellen. Good evening, Margaret. Lovely. Oh, thank you, Alison. Lost time panicking. Oh, never. Wendy, I haven't even started yet. Not today. Off to Skipton. Hello. How to use. I could indeed the quilting templates. Of course I can. And Gita would like to learn hand quilting. It's lovely and it's very therapeutic. So I think we'd better get started because it is quite straightforward technique, really. And this, although, so I'll show you it, shall I? So here it is. It is now finished. It is now quilted. So this is what you will be making. So you can see, I think in here I've used 5 different fabrics, but what I'm saying is that you can, it would look just as good, if not better. Hello, Tony. It would look better with lots of fabrics. So get your stash out. You don't need huge pieces of fabrics. You could make them from charm squares, cut down, of course. Heather, hello, Heather. Oh, I lose things all the time. But I hope you're well, Heather. So what I'm going to do, you'll have all of the measurements within your PDF for all these pieces. So I'm not going to say measurements at this moment because you're in the group for the group of January. Come February, when new members, I know there's going to be some new members, I would still like to leave the videos in the group so that, because it just seems a shame to lose something that gives you all the information on how to make it. But there won't be measurements in here because those in February won't be able to have the PDF for this particular mini quilt. But it would still be nice if they were then to buy it from the website to be able to have a video demonstration of how to make it, because I think that's fair enough. But everybody here now during January, lovely Barbara, that's here during January will have the full instructions for this. Okay, everybody wants to know where. I think I'm going to hang that on there so that we can see it once I have the camera back up. No, I'm not going to do that yet. Because what I'm going to show you, so this is actually made up of 4 patch blocks. So this little block here with 4 little squares in it and half square triangles. There we are. It would be the first place you look. So when we have made our half square, one block, better fold this so that we can see much better. One block is there. So that is one block. It's made up of 2, 1, 2, 4 patches and a half square triangle there and a half square triangle there. So that's as difficult as it gets. No more difficult than that. And so we're just going to be making just those 2 different blocks for the whole of the quilt. It's just the way we arrange them which gives that. Can you see those squares going around here? So there's like a leading line. Excuse me, I don't want that cough that Aunt Martin's got. Leading line here, showing going all the way through the quilt. And this is where they cross over here. So some go that way and some go that way. And then the bigger blocks in the middle where they come together. So let us start. So we have what we're going to work with. And because they're all the same, I am working with my strips. So what you'll need is 5 or more different strips. Now these strips are only what they'd be about 11 inches long. So you're going to get more than enough out of this. In the pattern it says a fat 8 because I think that would probably be the minimum you could buy in a shop, but a fat quarter of fabrics is ample, absolutely ample. But so you'll need 5 different colours, and you will need for each of those 5 of your plain background strips, because what we're going to do, we are going to pop the 2 together. So we're going to put a plain background strip with a, where's my other plain one, one plain one with every design strip. So there we have our plain, and there we have our, whoops, that way, there we have our patterned. Okay, so I'm just going to demonstrate 2 just to show you. Now, I know the other day, or last week sometime, we did a lovely little easy 4 patch, which was perfect every time. Now, that particular technique, although really good, was worked with squares, where you put 2 squares of fabric together. Right, there's just a message coming through. So, and also the 4 patches that we made with those squares would always be in the same colours. So you would get your 4 patch and it would have 2 cream and say 2 blue. This technique allows you to make, as you can see, a 4 patch which has got 2 different colours in there, or this one here. So it's got the 2 plain background and 2 different colours. And this, you could cut little squares. You could cut squares and join them all together for all of those 4 patches. But here's an easier technique, an easier way of doing it. So I'm going to show you that in just a moment. And then also, what I'm going to do, and use the easy HST ruler, is I'm going to make some half square triangles with these 2 fabrics. So you're going to need a plain background square to go along with each of your design squares for making your half square triangles. Okay, so let's just pop those out of the way here, and let's just, no, that's wrong. Whoops, press that up there. I want to just turn my light down. Ooh, no, yes, 6, there we go. Light, 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 light. We'll just have it on 1 so that I can just see a little bit. So of course I'm going to use my Aurifil. It's a good way to use up strips that we have left from binding. Absolutely, absolutely. So let's just go down here. So what we're going to do, so we will do the strips first of all. So as I say, in the kits they will have a whole, like a half width strip of the correct width, and there will be more than enough, so you can actually pick and choose as to which ones you use within the mini quilt. So as for both of these, we are going to put our background strip, we're going to put right sides together, so we'll just line up those raw edges like so, and the same with this. I'll put the no, let's put it this way so that you can see even better. I always tend to use white and ivory, and it's not very easy to see on the machine. So let's just line those up. It's hard for me to see now. So I'm just lining those raw edges up. For anybody that hasn't done patchwork before, if you want to put a pin here or binding clips, fine. But they do stick quite nicely together. I'm just going to make sure this one is, because so we want those raw edges to line up perfectly. So that will mean your cutting needs to be accurate as well. And then we will join them together. So 1/4 inch seam allowance. And as per usual, I like to take my stitch length down to 1.8. So for every patchwork technique that I do, or anything patchworky, I do like to have a short stitch length, because it gives a much better finish to your patchwork. So we will stitch there. Now you can, if you would like, chain piece. So without cutting that thread, I'm just going to put the next strip, and you'll do this with all 5 of your strips, or however many different colour fabrics you're using. What you could do is, if you've got any spare charms, you could cut those up. You would get a few out of a charm, but it might be a little bit of wasting doing that. But if that's the perfect colour that you've got there, or if you want it to have many colours within it, a charm pack might be a good way of getting a lot of different colours. So I am now going to just put the iron on, and we will get our little pressing mat out. So we've gone for the little one here. So what we're going to do now, as per usual with any, where I want to press to the dark side, always have your darker fabric on the top. So, and the first thing we're going to do is set the seam. So I will just give that a good press along the seam, and then we can pull that open. And I just like to use the side of the iron, just pull it open with my fingers. Perhaps it's easier to come towards me, that's it. So I'm use the side of the iron, and I'm not using any steam because I want this to be nice and straight. I don't want to, steam can, if you're not careful, distort the strip. And what we want, let's just do that down there like that, how perfectly smooth that is. We want that to be perfectly straight, and you can see that is. So we will do exactly the same with the other one. It might be easier for me to push it back. So again, set the seam, and that Orifil thread has sunk right into the fabric there. So again, let's just push that back, and then I'm just holding it taut at one end, and I'm giving a swirling motion with the side of the iron. That's just, oh, see, that's tucked under just that little bit. Oh, that is so hot tonight. And then push that back, and that way, again, we have a beautifully straight seam. If you look at it up here, so if I put this in front of me like this, as long as I can see that's nice and straight and doesn't wobble, then I know that's just how we wanted it to be. So our next thing is we are going to cut these strips. So there we are. So what I'm going to do first of all, I'll just cut a couple from each because I don't need many of them. We only need 4 of them. So you will need more per the instructions. So the first thing I'm going to do, this end is not straight. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure this is a beautifully straight edge, and I am going to line up a line there. Let's see if I can bring you in a little bit closer. There we are. So I'm lining up with my seam line, and then I am just going to trim that little bit off. Okay, should have left that open to go like so. Then I'm going to turn it around like so, and then I'm going to, from this end, I'm going to cut the relevant width of strips. So again, what I'm doing, I'm lining one of the horizontal lines with that seam line, and I can see this, my verticals are lined up with the edge that I've just cut, and I know that is going to be then the perfect size. So we will cut 1 and then line that up again to cut 2. So you can also see I've got the ruler hanging over the edge of my strip because that gives me a better cut as well. I pointed this out the other day, and some of you said how useful that was to be able to do that, and it does give you a better cut. So we'll do 3 of them. So again, looking at that horizontal going along my seam, and then the required width of my strip just there, and that is in a perfect orientation. So I'll move those out. So now I've got myself 3 of those strips, and then we're going to do exactly the same here. So first of all, I can see that this end needs trimming off. So again, I am going to put the horizontal line along that seam, and I'm going to trim off the least that I need to. And I'm not actually standing up today because I've got a lovely blade in my rotary cutter, and I have got some 28mm ones coming, so they will go on the website as soon as they are here. And now I've lined up that horizontal again with my seam and cut, and the same here, line it up. I'll just do 3 of these as well, and cut, and same here. So I've lined that horizontal with that seam line, and it is better if you stand up to do this, but as I say, a nice sharp blade means that I can cut that really well sitting down. So what we're going to do now, we have got all these different pieces, so we are going to turn one up the other way, and I'm going to make 2 of these. You can then choose which ones. So that one is going to give me a 4 patch there. Now, because I only use 2 strips, you're going to have 5 different colours here, so you can put whichever combination you like together, and basically the more the merrier, so for the total number that you need. So once we have got those, this is going to be 1 4 patch. Because we pressed our seams to the dark side, it means that when we pop those together, our seams are going in opposite directions. This one's coming down here and that one's going there. So when we pop those seams together, they nest. And what should happen is that that length is exactly matching, and the same there. So what I do like to do is pop a pin through the seam allowance, and that way it's not going to move. So I've popped that in there and it holds it together before we stitch. So we do the same with the other one and just nest those together. Now you can actually feel like so, that's it. So just pop that, and I'm pushing my thumb that way and pulling my finger back, and it really does nest them together. So again, we will just pop that like there, and then we'll take our pin, pop it through that one of the seam allowances, because that really holds it in place. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stitch them together. So we will pop this under the machine, take that ruler out of the way, and my other little bits there. So we're going to stitch down the right hand side with our 1/4 inch seam allowance again, and as soon as I don't take the pin out until I get, so the pin there, I haven't hit the pin, but I've actually gone past that seam, so now I can pull it out because that's anchored and it's not going to move. Now that hopefully will give me a perfect intersection. And then the same again here. The other thing I'm going to do is chain piece, so I'm not cutting my threads. We're saving on thread here as well. Now my needle, my pin is quite close there, so I'm going to start to just pull that out, but not quite, and then just as I get there, just as my needle gets there, I will pull it out. So we can just clip those apart now, but you would have a long, that is what I like to see. So by nesting, let's see if this one is, by nesting that seam, that is what gives us that precision. And that is what we're looking for. Now, as a beginner, it may not happen first time. If you can live with it, I would leave it. It will show your progression over the months of how you got better and better. But if it is something you look at and think, oh, no, I can't have that, just unpick it and sew it again. So it's a case of, you see those seams, really nesting them together. So once we've stitched them, all we're going to do, I mean, you can set the seam here if you'd like to, but then I push out at the middle, whoops, they are smallish, so push out at the middle, use your finger to just flatten on the other side and make sure that seam is completely open. And there you have one. Whoops, you can't see that very well. Sorry, there we have one. Now let's do the same here. So we will set that seam. We're setting all those seams there. Open out. And just give that a little pull so that you know that is well and truly open. And then you can press that. And if you press away, what that will do, there we go, is give you that perfect intersection there. So we've got 2 of our 4 patches made, ready to do our whole block. So let's just pop that over here. And now we need to move on to our half square triangles. So I'm sure you will have done this technique before, but what we have here is we have our squares. So we have our plain squares or our background squares there, and again we are going to put these, now I'm going to put it this way so that you can see the fabric. What I would normally do, it's only for you viewing on this white base, or perhaps what I should have done is put it on the other. That's it, let's put it, oh, that is not the most perfect, but obviously, so I haven't cut that extremely perfectly, but, or absolutely perfectly, but what we're going to do, as we're using our Easy HST, our half square triangle ruler, we're going to trim with those. So if the squares aren't particularly, you know, there's about probably a 1/16 of an inch, a smidge, it isn't going to affect our triangles, our half square triangle squares. So what I'm going to do first of all, and you will have seen this before, is I am going to draw a line across the diagonal. So there is my line. Now, if you don't like drawing lines, what you can do, and I'll just do this now, you can go with all your squares and fold them diagonally, like so, and press them all. I mean, both probably takes longer to do that, so I am just nail pressing. So you could fold your squares in half so that you have a crease. I don't know if you can see that crease, but if you're happy to follow a crease line, absolutely fine. So that is just another way of being able to, rather than drawing a line, that you can pop a line in there without marking it. So a crease line will give you the line for your half square triangle to stitching. But I'm going to put a line on here anyway, because it's much easier for you to be able to see that. Now you probably notice, rather than when I'm drawing a line, I don't just press down and pull along. I go backwards and forwards, because that is the bias edge of your fabric, and it will stretch it a little bit. So by moving your pen backwards and forwards, now you can see there, it's a tiny little bit bigger, but because we're going to trim these down to the perfect size, it doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stitch 1/4 an inch to this side of the line and 1/4 an inch to this side. So again, we'll go over to the needle, and I'm lining up the edge. Whoops, you can't see that. I'm lining up the edge of my foot with this line so that I can do 1/4 an inch seam allowance. Now I have got my needle moved over into position, and it is on a 5.5 for those of you who haven't got a patchwork foot. Now, a patchwork foot is a foot which has a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So it may have a little metal guide at the side, and then you would line that guide with the mark that I've just drawn, and then you will stitch a perfect 1/4 inch seam. I tend to be a little bit lazy and not change to that, and I just move my needle over to the number 5.5, and then I use the side of my standard foot along that line, and that gives me a 1/4 inch seam allowance too. So we will just slowly go down here and just make sure that the edge of the foot is following that line. And once we've got to the end there, so we can chain piece these as well. So I'm just going to tuck that under, and I'm looking at the line that's here. I'm lining that up with the edge of my foot. And very slowly I am stitching there, because I was stitching into thin air, and machines don't like to stitch into thin air. So now I have got to the end of my 2, and I'm just going to pull the thread so that, not cut it, I can come back down the other side. So again, I've flipped it around so that I can come back down this side. And I'm following the line or the edge of my foot down that line, and I'm getting my next one ready. So I'm just going to push that a little bit and carry on stitching down the next one. Okay, and cut. Right, so now I've got 2 of these. Each of these is going to give me 2 half square triangles. So I'm just going to cut them apart, but I'm going to deal with both of them differently, because, let's just take that back out a little bit, that's it. I'm going to cut them both in half. Okay, so I'm using scissors. You can use a rotary cutter if you want to, but as long as you don't go very close to your seam line, it doesn't matter. You don't really want to go 1/8 of an inch from here and a bigger part on the other side. So scissors are just as easy to be able to do these. Now we're going to have them so that the design side is facing up, because again, when we press them, we're going to press them to the dark side. So the dark side here. So if you can see, if I'm not going to press it yet, but if I have my dark fabric on top, when I press that back, that seam is going underneath my dark fabric. Okay, so that's why I always have the dark fabric on top. Then when I press, the seam is going under the dark fabric. So what I'm going to do first of all is to, let's just have a look, bring this in. I am going to use the half square triangle ruler, and we will do that with 2 of these, or perhaps I'll do it with these 2 because it's easier to see. So I'm getting my, it actually needs my half one this time. So let's turn that over, and you can probably see that all of these lines, we've got dashed lines and we've got solid lines. The solid line always goes on this long edge here, and the dashed line goes onto the stitching. So I am going to line up my long edge down there, and there's a minimal amount of, and I am going to stand up here so that I get over the top. So I want my dashed line, it's the most important, to go on the stitch line. Don't worry if this doesn't line up, because I've cut it with scissors, so it may not. But the stitch line, or the dashed line, will go onto the stitch line. That's what is going to make our perfect half square triangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim that. I'm going to move my mat and trim down. So while I've got the blade open, I'm just going to move that away, and there I have what is going to be a perfect sized half square triangle. So I'm just going to do that with this other one as well. So again, the dashed line, you can see the dashed line there. So the dashed line, I'm just going to bring that down so it sits on top of my stitch line. I can see there's a tiny bit of fabric on both of those sides. So again, we will just go up. Oh, I know what I didn't do. I didn't trim off. So I'm just moving that a little bit so that I can cut down the other side. And then in that little slit, we can move, we can trim off, move the board, and we can trim off our dog's ears. There we go. So because I forgot this other one here, I'm just going to lay that back on, and I know that fits perfectly, so I'll just line up the outer edge, and I'm going to put the rotary blade in there. Whoops, get it in there like so, and then I'm moving my feet around here so that I can go. Now you can go from the outside in like that, but I like to get it into that big slot and outwards. So there is our first way, and I'm going to press those in just a moment. So we will bring in, because the next one, the alternative way, if you don't have the easy HST ruler, we will need to press first of all. So the option is trim first before pressing if you have the rulers, which I know you don't at the moment. So what we're going to do is set the seam, open that out, and push that back. Perfect. And then similarly, set the seam, open it out, and press. And our dog ears have gone. We haven't got to trim those off like we normally do. So there are our two half square triangles there. Now this one, we are going to actually press these open first and trim afterwards. So again, set the seam. Perhaps I'll do it this way because I like pressing away from me actually. So set the seam, lift it. I then go into the middle and press out like that. So the same effect. So again, set the seam, open it out. I press the point into the middle and then along there as well. But this time we do have those dog's ears, don't we? So we are going to trim those off. And I suppose I could have waited actually, but we'll trim them off first of all, like so. And because we have our two, I'm going to have bits all over me, aren't I? We have our two blocks, which are not, let's just have a look. Let's put this on here. Can you see how the bottom one is bigger than this? So that is going to, our blocks won't go together perfectly if we don't, let's have a look. I'm just looking for my little ruler now. Oh, there it is. So what we need for this, which I have got the square ruler, but I've got another ruler here instead. So we need this to be a specific size. And what we are going to do is I am looking for, I've got a 45-degree line which goes along here. Can you see that 45-degree? So I want my seam, so there is my seam, and I want the 45-degree to go right along my seam allowance. So we can move it this way, we can move it that way, but we're looking for, I'll have to say a measurement here, we're looking for 2.5. So there's my 2.5 line, there's my 2.5, but the ruler goes over the edge of the fabric there, so that's not right. We've got to bring it down a little bit, but we've got to make sure that we can see the 2.5 line on the fabric so that we can then trim around. But the most important thing is this diagonal line, the 45-degree line, going right along the seam. So this is where a rotary cutting mat is good, because it will turn around, and so we can cut two sides. So 1, 2, flick those bits away, And then we're going to turn this a full 180 degrees so that our diagonal line is still going in the same direction. But now this edge here is what we've just cut. So we line that up with the 2.5 because the excess is going to be on these other two sides. So I'm lining that edge. I'm looking at that 45-degree line there. Just move that slightly across, and then I'm going to do exactly the same. Cut up there, move the mat, and it's only a minimal amount, but this makes piecing absolutely perfectly matching, and it will just come together so much better. So there is my first one, and then we will just do the second one here. So again, we want the angle to go the same way as that diagonal line. So I'm looking at that diagonal line going in line with the seam, and then I'm also looking, let's see, that's on there now, I'm looking at the 2.5-inch line here and here, sit down just a little bit, so that I can trim these two edges here and here. So let's do that way, and then that way, and then we're just going to take that little bit off, turn it a full 180 degrees so that we can line this 45-degree one right up the middle in line with the seam line. And then I am looking at the 2.5 lining perfectly with that bottom edge and that side edge. And then again, I'm just going to trim up that side and down that side. And so you see, it is the most minimal piece. There we are. But what we now have, what was a little thread there? What we now have is 4 totally perfectly sized half square triangles. So these will fit like so, and that will fit like so. Now hopefully the other thing is our 4 patches will be exactly the same size as well. And just look at that. And they are perfectly all exactly the same size, which is just what we want it to be. So this is where we put the pieces together. So what you'll want to do is we will have one of our half square triangles followed by one of our 4 patches, and we want the 4 patches to actually so the squares actually go in a diagonal line across, and then your half square triangles, we will go like so. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 2 more of those, which I hadn't got those. So this is the block we are going to make. So can you see how that you've got your design fabric on the outside, and you have got your 4 patches so that the actual coloured fabrics create a line. And then when you've made lots of these, I can't remember how many, it's 12 I think, what we'll do, so we'll sew them together first of all. So the first thing we do is pop those right sides together, and this one here, right sides together, and so that I'll use a technique which I use a lot now, so that we don't turn it round the wrong way, because we could easily accidentally have it that way, but we need it to be that way. We could easily have it the wrong way. So what we'll do with these 2 here, let's move them over here. We've got them there. So we're going to stitch down this side first of all. So we'll align these. We have no seams to match apart from this edge. So this long edge, well, it's not that long, but with this edge we will align there. So 1/4 inch again. And then the same there, just keep that in the same orientation, make sure, yes, that is right. So we're going to stitch down that edge there. So again, align that edge perfectly, and that does. And then we're going to chain piece without cutting. And by doing this, it just ensures that they are absolutely in the right place. So we've got the two together, and then when we open them out, like so, and this one, they are in the right place. They're joined, so they can't go anywhere. Even if you flipped it up the wrong way, you see they're joined, so they won't be wrong. So all we need to do now, you could press if you want to, but I think it is just as easy, because we're only going to go flip it over, and we're just going to make sure, because we can press afterwards, pull those the blocks apart so that that seam is actually, so that those seams are open. So I'm just pulling that apart, and then we want one of these to go one way here and one to go the other. So having pressed them open, or pulled them open rather, so I'm pulling like that, but I am nesting them at the same time. So this is where a pin comes in very useful again. So pin that, and then that should, and it does, that should match perfectly, and this one should also match perfectly the length there. So we'll keep that pin in just as we did before, like so, and we will wait till we are practically on that pin and pull it out. And again, as you can see, there's no seams to match because that's just a plain edge, so we can just make sure we don't make the seam that we've just gone across fold upwards, but that's all we have to do. So now, because we've finished that, we do want to press it now, and then hopefully what we'll look at, and we will see that our point in the middle is also perfect. So we can flip that over, and this seam here and here we didn't actually press, so we can press now because we know they matched in the center. So we can just move that around, and we'll move that around and just press it. And then here I want to, this is the seam that we just, the very last seam that we made, and I'm just going to press that nice and firmly, then turn it to the right side and give that a nice press too. Now what you will want to notice, just like your friendship star, so that looks good to me, your friendship star, do you remember where your points came? There is a 1/4 inch left. There's a 1/4 inch there. That's for your seam allowance when you join it to another block. There's a 1/4 inch just there. There's a 1/4 inch just there, and there's a 1/4 inch there. What you don't want, if you can help it, is this point here being right on the edge. It will look good as an individual block, and you'll think, oh, that's lovely. My points come right down to here, but you want to have, let me just hold that up there, you want to have that extra 1/4 inch from the edge, so here and here, for when we join the next blocks together, so all those 4 points. So from there, so that is all you need to do, and you'll make 12 of these, and then you'll stitch them together in that, or you'll lay them out how you want them to be laid out. And let's just go back to the actual quilt itself. Oh, we're not doing too badly. Okay, let's just come back up again. Oh, yep, and the block, it does look neat, doesn't it? But you will be able to do that too. So there is our block. Let me see, I can't see when this is the wrong way round. Oops, let's see. That's it, oh, that's there. Okay, so if I hold that there, and then if I just pull that up, can you see how that is that block? let's just pull that down. Whoops. So you've got that diagonal squares, leading squares, and then the colours. So that fits just there. So that would fit into that, no problem at all. Oh, it is hard to see when, that's it. So that will fit just there, and it wouldn't look out of place. So you've got this diagonal line, no, this diagonal line going down there. I'm really bad with my fingers here. So down here, and then it goes across there, back up there, and then towards there. So very, very, very straightforward. Following those, let's pop it on the back. Oh, the back even looks nice there. So following those, Pat, it is nice and, well, I won't say, because it won't be easy to everybody, but just follow those little tips for getting all of those points exactly how you want them to be, and the pressing. Actually, it shows up better here. So here are my little 1/4 inch seam allowances. Ooh, there we are. So you can see that little bit. I'm going against the grain here. So there's that little bit. There is up, 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 there, that little bit there, and this little bit here, and no, that way, that little bit just there. Do you need 4? I've got 5 colours. So that's how I've used 5 colours in the particular pattern. But if you want to use 8, 10, because as you can see, let me turn this round again, you can have a different one in every, you've got all of these little squares, they can be as many different colours as you like. So you can make your little 4-patch block. You can see here I've got some, so that's the same as that, no, not that, here, here. So I've got a few, 5, probably 5 or 6 the same, whereas you, if you have more colours, you can have them all different colours. And if you wanted these squares here, where the 4 half square triangles come together, you might want them all to be exactly the same colour. So just do all your half square triangles in 2 colours, the background. What you do need, you've never tried half rectangle, but you have to have the, you've never tried HRT, but I see, Bridget, I'm with you now. I thought you meant half rectangle triangles. We've got to do those one day as well. Okay, Pat. Okay. It is very effective. Good, good, good. Good, good. Think of it, yep. Yes, little dolly quilt. It is about, what did I measure? 13 across by about, I think 16 and a half. So I said about 13 by 17. It's a lovely little size. But I mean, if you like it so much, you can make it bigger. You'll have, if you stitch the strips together to make your 4 patches, you'll have more than enough. So what you will be able to do is choose what colours you want to go where if you want to. It is a great idea. Good for the grand girlies. Oh, you are welcome. So yes, so this is the new mini quilt for January. As I say, you will be, or you are, the first to have it. And I haven't put the PDF on the website. I've put the kit on for your benefit. And it won't go on Create and Craft until March now. Well, I'm glad I make it look easy, because the thing is, when you try it, if you take everything on board that I've said, or put the video on again, follow as I'm doing it, you will do it too, exactly the same, and you'll say, that was easy, which is really good. What are the new rulers, please? Jane, yes. Oh, sorry, Jane. The new rulers are, let me just put this back up here. There we go. So the new rulers are these. Let's see what I can put them against. When I put them against here. No, that's not so good. I have, oh, I've got a little bit of red card here, a little bit of glittery card. So, here are the new rulers. They are on the website for dispatch 1st of February. I am hoping very much that they're going to come through. So these are the two rulers. They come as a set and they are on the website. They are on the website as half square triangle ruler. So if you put in the search, that's what I tend to do all the time. It is under haberdashery, but half square triangle rulers, if you put that in, half square triangle, these will come up. And as you're in the group, Jane, there is a discount code, which is ruler 10, I think. Have a look in the group after this, and I think it's ruler 10, because I've got 3 codes out there at the minute. I think there's book 15, ruler 10, and the kit is quilt 299. So there we are. So these are the half square triangle rulers, which, if you saw the demo, which I just did for making the half square triangles tonight, did it in 2 different ways. One using this, and it is so easy and gives you the perfect size for your half square triangles every single time. And the other thing, it stops, or it means that we don't have to cut those measurements of 7/8 and 3/8 and 1/8, which I know a lot of you found a pain, because trying to find that 7/8 of an inch to get the perfect size for a half square triangle, it was always, can't find that. So what we do, we cut the squares just a tiny bit bigger, so they will either be whole inch squares or something in a ½ inch square, which is easy to see on your ruler, your ½ inch and your, where are we? We've got it here. So you can see quite easily, here's your inches, ½ inches are in the middle, inch, ½ inch, whereas the 7/8 is just before there as well. So they are on there, but a little bit of a pain. So rather than 2 7/8, which would be there, we can go to 3. There's your 3-inch line, really easy. And then we trim back with this ruler, which is also very easy to use. So I can use the word easy on those, because absolutely is easy. Thank you, Marion, and thank you, Angela. Thank you, Bridge. You love the colours. Yes, it's Lady Tulip. I call it Tulip by Adita Sitar. Never realised till today it's called Lady Tulip. So that's really nice. Oh, that's good, Shirley. I'm glad you enjoy. Thank you, Maxine. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Caroline. Well, you're a teacher now. No! Do you know, Martin very rarely pays me a compliment, but he did say the other day, do you know what? You really could have been a teacher. I never ever wanted to be a teacher. It wasn't something in my my mind that that's what I wanted to do. In hindsight, probably I could, but perhaps I wouldn't have been a good teacher if that's what I'd gone for. You don't know, do you? Good. Well, I'm glad I explained clearly, because I want you all to be able to do all of these things straightforward and easily. And also, I like you to know the reason behind doing it, because then you know why you're doing it, and you can work things out for yourself as well. So, excellent. I'm glad you enjoy. Shirley will have a go when you get back next week. Fabulous. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Mira. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Maureen. Thank you, Leslie. You've been cutting your fabric. Oh, my goodness. Are we going to see some? Are we going to see some by the morning? I really don't think so. Well, you're bound to prove me wrong. Thank you, Beverly, and thank you, Alison. You're welcome, Jane. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Michelle. Yep, you've got plenty of time to try it. You know, there's no rush, but I know there's some of you girlies in the group who just love to get it done, which is great. Lots of straps. Yes, do whatever way you like. Will you use in the triangle? Yes, absolutely will, Beverly. I've been looking at different blocks, because I mean there's so many blocks, but so many use half square triangles. This is why it's not a one, well, it is for doing your half square triangles, but if you saw the demo the other day for your tube quilting, it's fantastic for that, for you know, when we had a tube of fabric. Where did I do? Here it is. So this is what we did, and this to begin with was a tube of lots of these. There we are, upside down. So we used that to cut that way, that way, that way, all along a very easy tube. So I have got lots of different things in my mind. We'll be using this a lot, really will be using this a lot. Thank you, Margaret. Please patent our rivers. Oh God, yes, I suppose we'll talk about it tomorrow, Bridget. Thank you, Glynis. Thank you, Shirley. Thank you, Kim. Oh, lovely, lovely, Anne. Gita. Oh, thank you. And thanks, Pat. Thanks, Kirsten. Oh, I should be back next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, what did I think? Something came to me. Well, I should be back, hopefully. I may have to miss this Thursday and just be Friday. I need to see my dad one day this week, if not tomorrow. But I'll see. But I shall be back Friday, definitely. I don't know what I'm doing yet. Thursday actually should be a thrifty Thursday. But I feel that I keep putting so many things in front of you, it's really unfair. So you'll have to let me know what you'd like me to do, but we'll see how it goes. I've still got a fair bit of, a fair few orders to go out for Create and Craft, and so I have got a lot to do. But what I will say is thank you so much for joining me tonight. Without wittering on, I think till maybe putting what, yeah, I don't know what you mean there, Angela, but never mind. So thank you for joining me tonight. I hope that you know, you've taken a few hints and tips on board, and I hope you'll enjoy making it. So download your pattern, please, and so that you've got it, save it somewhere so you can always print it off again or at some other point in time, and I'll see you later on in the week, whether it be Thursday or Friday. So, and the next time in the group will be next Tuesday. And I did have an idea, but I can't think what it is. One of the things it will be, though, next Tuesday, as the 5th Tuesday in this month, I will be doing the fabric giveaway. So one lucky member in the group will win a bundle, which I shall put together. So watch this space, and I will see you soon. Have a lovely evening, and I'll see you later on this week. Bye for now.